I'm Ed from Now in Fitness and Wellness. I'm speaking with Phil Whitlock from Whitlock. He's been around for a very long time. We're going to talk about our squad career. So I'll pass over to him to give you an introduction of who he is.
Oh yeah. So I started with the PUMA Squad back when it first formed in 2000 when Master was the head coach, and I competed consistently throughout up until my retirement, which was a year and coming on a couple of years ago now, which is really weird to think about. But yeah, so the best part of 18 years I represented the PUMA Squad and competed internationally all over the world. Sometimes successfully, which was nice, and now I'm progressed and I'm on the other side now, one of the PUMA Squad coaches, along with Mr. Lamin, Mr. Swain, and Mr. Pixton. As you touched upon, obviously we've known each other and fought on the same team as each other for many years, and I thought this would be a useful opportunity to kind of talk about, because both of us have a similar background in terms of we both weren't particularly good at Taekwondo when we first started, and I think that's a common misconception, because I've had it in the past where I've been at tournaments and stuff, and people come up and kind of like they're trying to be nice, and they say, it's like this. I'd love to be like as talented as you are. And as much as a compliment as that is, like my initial reaction is like, well, actually, I'm not really all that talented. No. I've just worked really, really hard for a very, very long time. And these are the benefits of the seeds that I sowed over that many years. And I know that you have sort of a similar thought process. So how did you come on to getting onto the PUMA Squad, Ed?
I had attended like a few sessions throughout like my training. I started training in '99 and came to a few squad sessions. The main reason that I started and ended up not stopping was someone at my class wanted to go, and they were too nervous to go. So I said, "Oh yeah, I'll go," and thought I'll do 5. That'll keep them happy, and then I probably won't go back after that. I went to them, and after I really enjoyed it. I think I was a little bit older then. I was probably about 13. It's when maybe a little bit younger, and I just went to train because I knew I wasn't any good. Like, it was very clear. Most people told me. So I had no sort of idea that I could end up being part of the squad. And when I was 14, I did my first trip. It was over to Ireland, which was a really good competition. It's good sort of icebreaker, I think, to international competing, where you get hit a little bit harder and
just a little bit, yeah.
And it was a whole new experience compared to what I'd been used to, where I got looked after a little. I've loved it and been a part of the squad since then. But it was nice to hear you say about your talent and not all that, because it's a similar sort of thing with me when I'm teaching as well. Oh, it's all right for you. You can do this. You have natural talent, and no, I'm not. I'm definitely not a natural talent. If you watch me do any other, you'd realise I have no sort of hand-eye coordination. I can just about kick people and run away. That's the limit of my skill.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like a sort of key message that I want to get to anyone that's either trying to protect you right now or something, or but no, it's a key message that I want to get out to anyone watching or or listening to this is that there's no secret success. In fact, I've got a tattoo on my on the inside of my right arm, which was it was a saying that so I've got a Master Gale saying on my left arm and a Master Ogborn saying on my right arm, and I'll never forget this. Well, obviously because it's tattooed on me, but I got it tattooed so that I didn't forget. My first ever adult PUMA summer training camp when I was 18. The camps were a little bit different back then. They were quite a bit tougher and sort of more physically demanding. And so I remember that we finished a training session. And I walked up to the top tent and asked Master Ogborn and said, "Sir, do you mind having a look at maybe some of my patterns and like giving me some feedback?" Obviously, you know, Master Gale's my instructor. I see him week in, week out. Sometimes it's good to get a different perspective. So he said, "Yeah, of course. Come and do a pattern." And he made me do Do-San. And he tore me to absolute pieces. He's like, "Right, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you need to do this better, etc. You need, like, for your training, you need to be able to do this, etc." And I remember walking away going, I thought I was actually all right at this. But at the end of it, he said to me, he said, "Right, after the next training session tomorrow, come back and I'll look at one of your black belt patterns." I said, "Yes, sir," walked off, etc. And like, I walked off and I immediately tried to like get a pen and paper and note down some of the things that he told me that I need to do differently, etc. And so next day comes, I do our training session. I go up to top and say, "Sir, do you have any time to look over my black belt pattern?" I said, "Yeah, of course." And he sat me down. And we were sat down sort of looking over the coast where you could see like the sea and stuff like that, and the sun was setting. And he sat me down and he just said, "Oh, Phil, like, do you know that like we love you? Like, we see you as like, you know, one like a son sort of growing up, and you know, we feel sort of proud of what you're doing, the direction that you're going. You just need to keep going, just keep being, etc." And always like the complete opposite of the day before. It was kind of the day before of like, boom, bring you down, and then the next day was like, "You know what? Actually, we're doing this because like we care for you, and you know, want to see you do well, not just in competition, but you know, in life and your overall taekwondo career." And right at the end, before I left, he said, "Phil, like, remember, it's not talent that makes a champion. It's your attitude and your heart." And he said, "You know, you've got." He said, like, that there are people out there that will be more talented than you, that might have, you know, faster twitch muscle fibers, might just have a slightly better eye for it, etc. But he said, you know, you've got the heart in terms of, you know, I don't give up easily. I rise to challenges, etc. I do my best to, and that you know, my attitude to training was very good. A lot of that was formed by training with Mr. Pixton. And yeah, I always try to remember that there's, you know, because you go to World Championships and, you know, I fought like the 3-time world champion or whatever, and you know going into it that like the odds are stacked against you, but I always knew that I had some indomitable spirit, and that I always knew I had a fighting chance. Whoever I fought, it was like, this could go either way, but I know I have a chance of winning because I've trained so hard for so many years, and I won't get put off if I get hit or I start to lose. Like, that won't faze me. I can keep going. And yeah, and that was like one of the things that I learned from Master Ogborn that sort of really helped me accelerate into my international career as an adult. That was a really special moment for me.
That sounds amazing. I think that kind of area had a massive sort of advantage on like some other people a little bit further afield, where you be around the masters so often and get those little nuggets of wisdom. Like I don't think I even realised I was missing out until I went off to university. Was a little bit closer while I was in Bath and had Massaro as my instructor. He's very good at getting into your head and help find a little bit more from what you think you're giving a lot, and then all of a sudden you just managed to flick a switch. It's really good. So it's been amazing. We've got some amazing instructors down in Devon. Don't get me wrong. Like I was very lucky to have like multiple to do. But I think on a psychological level, sometimes you need someone who's been an international competitor to the next level. Master Black and Mr. Mortimer, both amazing instructors, both. But sometimes just having someone who's been there before, and like you've done it for me, and Mr. Pixton as well, just a bit, and it's pushed me on to do a little bit more, which is really helped. And it's something that I think maybe people don't really know until they've had to fight at that kind of level, that the amount of mental toughness it takes to just keep going. Like when you know has knocked someone out in the round before and is current European champion and stares at you like, it takes a lot to just walk into that ring and go, yeah, all right, I'll give it a good go and see what happens. And yeah, it's very lucky in PUMA that we've got that opportunity.
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's we're like I was very lucky because I before Mr. Pixton, I had Vaughan Buxton, who is former middleweight ITF world champion, like amazing sparrer, and I always had sort of those people in front of me that were doing it, and that I had that vision kind of put in front of me. It's like, if you work this hard, there's a potential for you to achieve this and have these experiences and etc. And I don't, I wonder sometimes whether, I would have been able. Well, no, I know that I wouldn't have been able to be as the successes that I had would not have been made possible if it wasn't for those people kind of blazing the trail for me. And it's very nice to hear that that I sort of helped sort of do that for others. And as you said, like it can be really hard. That the majority of England team members and stuff like that, not many of them have like people in their club that they can, that can push them, etc., particularly to that international level. Like it takes a lot of commitment in terms of, you need to be prepared to travel, to find the training, to find the good sparring partners and stuff like that. And if you want to compete at that higher level, training twice a week with your instructor will not get you there at all. I was always very fortunate in that, because Master Gale has done that and knows the types of training that it takes to get to that international level. He had no qualms about me going and here, there and everywhere to get the extra training, because I was always at his class. I was always there Tuesday and Friday doing the colour belt and the black belt class, etc. And then any other day of the week, basically had free reign to kind of go where I was, because he knew that, again, it kind of came down to my attitude, in that I was training hard for a purpose. I'd still be courteous, etc., and let him know what I'm doing and stuff. And and if you're that person that's in that kind of small club that doesn't have those people around you for you to kind of follow in the footsteps, then you need to be the trailblazer in your school and be prepared to go to squad training, go that extra mile, do that extra competition, do that extra training session on your own when nobody's looking, when there's no Facebook or Instagram, and you're prepared to dig deep and do that extra session. If you're from a smaller region or a smaller school, there's no reason why you can't get to that high international level. You just need to be prepared to make the sacrifices, and be prepared to be that person that's a little bit different.
Sorry. So when you were trying to get into the squad, how often were you training away from squads?
Sorry, it came in and out a bit there, Ed. What was that?
So when you were trying, before you were selected, how often were you training just at home or off your own back, going to different schools? How many sessions?
How many sessions? So it has changed as I've changed and learned more and got older. That's may have been a big factor. But at the start, I rarely had a day where I didn't do any kind of training. If it was a Saturday or whatever, and sort of, because we used to have 3 hour Friday, we'd actually beat ourselves Friday night, and then we used to have a Saturday morning training session that started, but before that started up, Saturday used to kind of be my rest day, and I'd still be in the kitchen working on my side kick, doing some stretching, doing some sparring, etc., but just nothing that was like physically too taxing. And then I was training, probably doing about 5 classes a week, and then a little bit training, if not every day, every other day as well. That has changed, and I'm quite well. I've tried to build my school around the fact that I can give my students a training program where, other than my classes, squad training, and their own fitness stuff, that will cover them, and that they don't need to go too far, because that was one of the disadvantages having to do all that, was having lots of different coaches, having lots of different demands, and getting a bit burnt out.
I think
that's why something like your place is just perfect. It's the dream. If I had somewhere like Nama when I was coming up, you'd have to kick me out every night. Your students do not know how fortunate they are yet. I'm sure they do appreciate it, but from a 25-year veteran that's dreamt about having that facilities available to me, and that level of coaching and experienced instructor, is the dream. If you live near Nama, join Nama. All right, you just do it.
Right, thank you very much, sir. Your check's on its way, and thank you so much. That means a lot. I was trying to sort of base that I wanted to train at. Growing up, I was in the same sort of situation as you, where I was travelling pretty much across Devon throughout the week, and then out to Bristol. It is tough, like travelling that much and making sure that you get on training. I think I was doing a similar sort of training schedule to you at the start of I think everyone goes through it at the very start, where you all day, at least 2 hours, and just expect to be able to keep that up for your whole life. And then you get your first injury and realise that you can't. And it might take a few injuries actually, but it is something that I've always dreamed of, somewhere that you can reach the top level and have everything included, just from one sort of, and hopefully the instructors, including myself, help you towards that as well. But if you do have to set a new standard and start training hard, and it can be done independently. We do that. It does take a lot. I think both of us did it as juniors as well, so it does take quite supportive parents as well to.
I drew the words out of my mouth. Yeah, we're both very fortunate that we have, very giving parents. Your mum is the best.
Every time that I've Bristol, I think I've been looked after by a Whitlock. It doesn't matter which one, but someone's looked after me. So I think same boat where couldn't have got there without our family, couldn't have got there without. But just want to. It's not that difficult. Like neither of us are a natural talent to martial arts. It's just putting. All it takes. So what made you? What was the first thing that made you think, I should probably slow down a little bit?
In terms of slowing down, was all necessity. There was no real choice about it. It got to the point where I couldn't sustain what I was doing, and my body was falling apart, which is why I'm now 5.5 weeks recovery from a hip replacement. But I don't want that to deter anyone, because obviously I was kind of the last generation of sort of started training hard before sports science was particularly well known, and the attitude was just, you train as hard as you can, and then that will give you the most advantage over your opponent. And obviously now we know it's about training smart and making the most of your training sessions, and making the most of your rest, and kind of balancing that line of developing mental strength, etc., but maintaining your body. My plan was always to fight until I was 34, 35 would have been ideal. And actually, years ago, Master Gale said to me that he said, you'll be done by the time you're 30, because of the level intensity of training that I was doing in different disciplines. He said, you will have to, and teaching as well. There's a lot to be said about that. I won't make it to 35. And he said, you're probably done by 30. And guess what? He got it 100% accurate. At 30, my lower back, my hip, and my head went, no, we are done. Here's a load of migraines. Here's a load of pain in your back and your hip, to make it unfeasible of me being able to physically train at all. Which I guess is I don't know, the other side of the message, really, in terms of, being that trailblazer, training hard, going that extra mile, etc., is listening to the people that have been there before. As I said, I had Master Gale saying that, but I was training with him twice a week, because he was he is the chairman of our association, has another school, etc. That's how things worked. And but the advice that he was giving me, I did not listen. And typical sort of younger male, and headstrong, and I think there's a fine line between headstrong and not heeding to experienced people's voices. There's a fine line.
I think from my point of view, I probably would have been exactly the same and just carried on training. When I was training really hard, it was around the time that you started struggling with stuff. I got like an example right in front of me, and it was horrible seeing like one of the many idols in PUMA just occasionally had to go, right, I'm stopping for a bit, and you didn't have a choice in it. It wasn't that you didn't want to fight or you couldn't fight. It was the fact that your body just went, no, I'm not doing it anymore. And conversations that I stepped up to adult because you were struggling, and it wasn't like I thought, oh no, I've got to fight adults. And also I'm taking on Phil's position, not just step up for Newton Abbott. That I would have been happy about that, but oh no, I've got to step into Phil's shoes and actually do something good. And normally,
you're certainly filling them, my friends. You are filling them very well. You might be overspilling them, maybe.
Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
But it is tough balancing between like training hard and giving yourself some time to actually get the benefits of your training. People through everything, and you're just going to burn all your hard work away if you train too much. But you still need to train hard.
Yeah. This is the thing. You need to train hard, and you need to train sensibly, and you need to just make the most of the experiences, because when this is all done, like that's what you have left. I'm obviously maybe I would have sort of trained a little bit differently, maybe made a couple of things there, but at the same time I don't really have any regrets because of the people that I now have in my life, the experiences that I have gained, the world that I've got to see. I've been all around the world because of the opportunities that Master Gale, Master Osborne, and very importantly Master Black help form, and then obviously transferring that work into a few different ITFs and making and doing their national teams and stuff like that. And it's sort of having a hip replacement at 32. I had to sort of go under some studies because I was sort of having multiple hard migraines, which have all very much come down now. I haven't had a migraine for maybe 9 months, a year coming on now, which is really good. And as I say now with this ring, what I have is the memories and the sort of look back at, go through some old medals and stuff like that, and the experiences. And at the end of the day, really, it's the people and the memories that make it worth it. So if you're if you're maybe training hard and you're tired and it's hard, that's what makes it good. But also you need to make sure that the overall experience is good and worth it, and that you're enjoying it, really, I guess, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, is enjoying it. And if you're spending most of the time banged up on the sidelines because you're injured, that's not all that much fun.
No, like we all do this for the same reason, because we need to take advantage of that, really. Like the squad was an awesome place for someone who wasn't that talented at most other things and was a bit socially awkward, to actually come out of themselves. Like mouth of the squad, which it's difficult to believe. But before, I don't think I spoke to you for at least 3 years. It was my squad career. I remember the first time I spoke to you, it was because Mike, your brother, called you over from the other side of the Holland Cup. I panic thinking that I was injured or something. And he just wanted to tell you that I had more chest hair than you when I was. That's all it was. And then you both plucked my chest. That was my first interaction with you that I had. Before then, I think I just went, yes, sir, and then sort of bowed and ran away a bit because I was just afraid of everyone. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't. It's funny because I don't have recollection. No, I remember the chest hair thing, but like, I don't. I don't really remember before then sort of thing, and I guess that's something that the squad and the achievements that you can gain through it do sort of put you in a place where you need to be thoughtful about how you is people, and actually, even though maybe you didn't ask for it, there's the more you kind of climb the ladder, the more you win, the more eyes are on you, and the more you are now representing your association. And me and Mike always try to make sure that everyone's experiences were fun. That as we said, that we worked hard, we trained hard, and we won some medals. As we sort of proved our effectiveness. But also, it's the in the hotel, the evening after the competition's finished, and you've all got these hormones running through you because your muscles are aching, like your body wants to kind of die, but you've got all these emotions and hormones and excitedness and stuff like that. The feelings that money cannot buy, and and where we do an individual martial art, being part of the squad, like, brings that team element to it, brings us close together. And the people that I have trained and fought with, like, for over a long period of time, that basically the people I include that, like mostly, obviously my brother, Mr. Pixton, yourself, and Mr. Swain, like. It wouldn't matter if I didn't speak to any of you for 10 years. Like, if I hung up now and I didn't speak to you for 10, 15 years, like, I would still regard you as like a brother, because we've felt things together and experienced things together that the majority of people won't be able to understand, because of the sacrifices we made, the hard work that we put in, etc. That's all part of making the experience that it is, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
It's something that you can't explain to anyone else who hasn't fought like a team. I think my first team event, I was so worried about letting anyone else down, and that worry. You're fighting for your team and each individual in it, not just yourself. And I'd always perform better under those sort of team events where I shine, and it's because I'm so worried about the rest of my team. I care about those guys way more than I care about myself. Maybe if maybe if I cared a little bit more about myself, I'd do a little bit better in individual. But I'd rather do better for my team. Like, it's more important to me. And I don't really want that to change. I prefer to.
That's why you're the captain of the PUMA Squad, though, is because you are very selfless. You don't put yourself first. You bring, like, you've come very, very far, very, very high on your own merit. But along that, you bring people up, and actually sometimes you'll duck under to push them up, which is what makes you a very good instructor and coach as well. But most importantly, right now for the squad is the captaincy that you've stepped into. I think is fantastic, and I guess that kind of public service announcement for the PUMA Squad is, we are always looking for a number of things. Obviously, is fresh talent coming in all grades and all age groups. So if competition is something that you think, I could see myself enjoying that process and that experience and maybe getting something from it, and I highly urge you guys to join us. We're as the coaches got a lot planned for this year. Obviously, we've got a couple of curveballs with the whole Corona stuff, but we're really aim to sort of the squad. The squad used to be really big, and there used to be when I first started, there were like 5-6 people going for every weighted spot plus some. It was really, really competitive, and I think we I'll be frank. I think we went through a period where we kind of had the squad, and it was like, those people of the squad, Stacey, Emma, Natalie McCall, Jenny Swain, Dave, etc. And it was kind of like, we'll go off and do that stuff. But there was like that gap, between people coming through. And we really, really need. We're now sort of trying to focus on, getting those high-level guys and keeping them there and getting them through to that next round, trying to get through to the medals, etc. Also, it's just a big thing. It's just grassroots. Is getting colour belts coming through and starting their training. I think a lot of people wait. They always say, I want to wait till I'm better or till I'm a black belt before I come to squad. Like, don't wait. just come. The sooner you start, the more you'll learn, the quicker you'll learn, and the better overall eventually you'll become. And if anyone has any qualms or queries about squad, what's expected of you, so here's a common that most people don't know. You don't need to spar. You can come to squad and not spar. Like, it's not, we will not force you to do it. If you want to come and just work on your patterns, you can come, pay less money, and just do the patterns hour and do the fitness hour. Kickboxers, you don't need to come and wait around to the hour. You come in the second hour. We're very flexible, and we're trying to just get people in through the doors. We get working with them from either a young age or a young grade, and build those build those athletes into hopefully what we've done, and further again.
What you said about the gap was really interesting as well, because Natalie McCall was from, and I remember always thinking, yeah, I'm all right, but then there's Nat, and there's no way I'm going to be like Nat. And for ages I couldn't see, because it was the highest grade, and I couldn't see there was any way that I could make that jump. I just assumed it was down to talent, natural talent, so people have it. And I don't think it was until I started going to squad that I actually thought, actually, I'm not that far off that person. I could probably work hard and be. Then there's clear stepping stones, and everyone can improve. But sometimes you only see at the very top, and then a massive gap, and there's nothing in between. But our team and our squad are two massively different things. Our team is our elite fighters, and we've got a full squad around that lead up to getting to that level. It take a while. I think I went for a year or two before I got close to even thinking, I might have a chance to get selected. and then really started working for that as my goal. But before, I just went because I liked doing it, and should come along and just. I think most people would enjoy it if you like martial arts, which hopefully you do if you're listening to us rather on. Then there's no reason that you shouldn't enjoy squad training. Just come along and do it. See it as extra training. See what happens. Like, don't the team if you don't want to. Come for training and see if you like it. Because that's all I did. Like I had no. Like I said, I think it was Tegan Flay, who another great fighter. She wanted to go. I kind of felt like I had to, so went along, and it was great. I'm glad that she decided she wanted to go every part of the squad now. And
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, to kind of pop things in perspective from where I come from. It wasn't that long before I started squad training. I used to fight like this. I used to side kick and lean away because I was scared to get hit. I didn't want to get my face even touched. And yeah, it was my experiences through squad that I developed the skills, etc., to be able to become a competent international level fighter. So, yeah, it as I say, like all grades, all levels, and we do mean that. You will get something from it. Like, we've been doing a little bit more group work recently, squad, in terms of like taking the different level of experience. We've got the elite guys, and we go through elite level stuff with those guys, and then color belts, and we go through fundamental work with them. And so, and then, eventually, hopefully those people will go onto that group and then go onto that group. And then as new people come through into that first group, we just need to kind of keep that system flowing.
And since squad format has changed, I think that the grassroots level of PUMA has improved massively. Like, there's definite like jumps between certain people who do attend squad, but there's more people, like more grassroots people there, means that all the grassroots are coming up, which is brilliant, and it's the way it should. Every that person get on it while you get the opportunity. Get there. It's important.
Yeah, we have so many like the PUMA squad of 5 years' time could be a world championship beating team. We've got so many like young sort of black belt talent coming through that are absolutely fantastic. And we just want to keep backing that up and get those people through. So we've got people challenging for spots on teams and stuff. There's a lot of talent coming through, and we can just keep that flowing, as I said.
Yeah, I can't wait for 5 years. I'm hoping that I'll still be just about. I can be involved because the team team for that time, I'm going to be lucky to get a spot in. I think it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. There's the PUMA squad has a illustrious history. We have won some major team tournaments together, as well as our individual accomplishments, and the future is bright. The future is PUMA. The future is blue and red because I think we kind of had that lull of like where we had the team and then not much else, but like where a lot of us retired, moving on, except kind of put my energy from basically myself and my accomplishments to like, right, let's get the squad as big as we can again. Be fantastic. I think that was a nice little roundup of some of our squad experiences and why people should do it.
Yeah. Hopefully, let's convince people. I don't want to go. Hopefully, because I really want a full team to captain, not just a junior team and then a few stragglers for me. Like, I'd quite like everyone to be involved. If you want to come along, like, you can message either of us. We're quite good at replying. Both of us via laptop now, so I'm sure that you'll get a quick response as well. Message one of us or the other that you know that goes to squad. Ask anyone. Like, I think if someone goes to squad, they've probably got like a good idea of it, and they probably quite enjoy it as well. They'll say what I want them to say, which is good. Cool.
Lovely. Well, Mr. ECR, it's been an absolute pleasure, sir. Obviously, I wish we were doing this under different circumstances, but these are the circumstances that we have, and I think it's great that we can sort of do maybe have a few of these conversations that maybe people wouldn't necessarily be privy to in other circumstances. So I really enjoyed this one, and I look forward to doing another one.
Yeah, same to you. We'll have to think about what we're talking about next, and try another in a couple of weeks or a week. Brilliant.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm seeing you soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later. See you soon.
Yeah, take care, sir. Likewise. Much love and respect, and big up the NAMA crew. We'll look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Take it steady.
See ya. Bye.
Cheers.